There we go. So, hi and welcome. Yay! You guys, this is the official launch of Elizabeth Craig Education. Well, yesterday was the official launch of Elizabeth Craig Education, but today is the launch of 6 free webinars for you all to take advantage of. I want to first welcome you and say hello. Also, thank you for joining me right now to go through everything ECE. I'm so excited that you're here, and I am seriously hoping that you have also signed up for the additional 5 webinars because they're just jam-packed full of information. So I want you to know that there's also a comment box or a chat box below. So if you have any questions for me or any comments, you can leave them below. And I've got Miss Lola here, who you will meet tomorrow if you have not met her, who is answering all of the questions and the comments and those kinds of things. So without further ado, welcome to Elizabeth Craig Education. If you were with me yesterday, then you kind of got the quickie run through of what Elizabeth Craig Education is and everything that not everything, it was really so brief, everything that it includes. So I'm going to go through everything today, maybe with more of a finer tooth comb, and just kind of tell you the why and the what and all of that. So, you know, one of the biggest questions I've gotten lately because of this big shift in what I'm doing is, why did I decide to go into education? It was really easy. I've been a photographer for about 14 years, and it was a natural shift for me. I first started in photography as a wedding photographer with my husband, John, who you will also meet tomorrow. We honestly opened a wedding photography business initially to simply get out of the 9-to-5 grind. That was it. There's no romantic story there. I mean, that's really what it was. We had just made the decision that we just wanted to be our own bosses, and we just wanted to give it a go. And you will learn from me over time that one of my favorite sayings is, nothing is permanent. So I knew that if it worked, woohoo, and if it did work, yay, and if it didn't, it was okay, because nothing's permanent. So that's how we got our start. And then I decided to go into boudoir photography, really only for 2 reasons. One, because I really needed more of a creative outlet. And if you're a wedding photographer, then you know what I mean. Wedding days, you get like, you know, this, like a little bit of creativity, like a little bit of creative room or creative stretching during a wedding day. But I kind of felt like it was me in a sea of like white and black and like silver and gold. Whereas with boudoir photography, I got one client, and that client was with me, and that was it. And so I kind of felt like I wanted like a deeper connection like that. So originally it started off for that, and also just because I was a wedding photographer, so it kind of made sense to offer my brides and other women an opportunity to create gorgeous photos to give to their significant other. So that was how it kind of went. Not very long after that opened, my sort of tone or my culture that I set up within my business was that it became way more about celebrating yourself as a woman, taking time out for yourself, self-care, self-love, all of those kinds of things. And I kind of started collecting women that were going through some major life journeys, good, bad, and otherwise. And it became very apparent to me what an important role photography played in their lives. And this is something that has stayed with me ever since. So it's still my thing. And once I started becoming successful in boudoir photography, I started to get a lot of photographers following me and asking me all kinds of questions. And I'm pretty much an open book. If you ask me anything, buy me a glass of wine or like a cup of coffee, and I'm your girl. But you know, I really bonded with my clients as a boudoir photographer. Some of them are still some of my best friends today. And I saw what an impact my photography had or creating a kind of outlet for women to be able to express themselves in a way that we pretty much have been told since day one is bad, nasty. But my studio became a free space and a safe space for women to come in and really push themselves and test, you know, their limits and their boundaries and really question what is womanhood and what is empowerment. And it's just been, oh, I've been so blessed. I can't even begin to tell you. More with meeting the women that I've met over the years than anything else. So as I would work with women, work with photographers and answer questions and those kinds of things, and I would see light bulbs go off, it kind of became like a parallel thing. Like I really, you know, connected with my clients so much in my photography, and I began really connecting with other photographers that were struggling with their photography. And I began to see sort of that same, that connection between the two of us. And it's just been a lovely, lovely thing. And so it was just kind of like, duh, it's time to kind of do something a little bit more formal with that. And it's been lovely so far. Like I said, seeing the light switches and the light bulbs turn on has been magnificent. To see how a little bit of information from me just changes everything for someone that wants to be in photography has been so rewarding. So that's how Elizabeth Craig Education kind of sparked alive, and that's where we are today. And so I'm kicking it off, and that's just all there is to it, because nothing is permanent. And if it works out for you guys, yay. And if my education flops, okay, back to the drawing board. So I have my notes down here. So if I look down, it's because I'm cheating and I'm looking at my notes. All right. So what are we going to cover in ECE? We are going to cover so many things, and I'm going to go through that kind of step by step with you in a minute. But my hope is that everything that I am teaching through Elizabeth Craig Education is going to help you build that roadmap. One of the things that I've learned since I've started educating is that I think one of the biggest issues is that nobody knows where to start, and they just want a roadmap. But there is, you guys, there is no roadmap. There isn't. Everybody does it differently. And 9 times out of 10, it's just trial and error. But the one thing I will tell you that is significant and consistent with every single successful photographer that I have ever met is their drive, their ambition, and their consistency in what they do. Hands down. And I mean like consistency in like blogging and getting their images out there, but also in like education and research and those kinds of things as well. So I don't care how much you tell me that your photography stinks. I don't care how much you tell me that, you know, there's a million reasons why you can't do what everybody else out there is doing. I'm going to tell you that as long as you have ambition, drive, and consistency, you are going to do this. You are going to be successful. Have you ever noticed that photographer that you follow and you're just like, oh, how can he or she have so many followers? Why do they keep getting all of this work? I look at their photography and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, come on. You want to know why? Because they're probably very, very consistent in their business approach to everything that they do. Because here's the thing. I don't care how good you are at photography. I don't care how crappy you are at photography. If you are not 50% photographer and 50% entrepreneur and business person, bye. That's all there is to it. Most artists are really great at being artists, and they're really crappy at being business people. You know what they do? If they can't learn how to be a business person, then they find somebody to help them. They have somebody invest with them. They go to workshops. They go to, they go to mentoring events and things like that. But I'm telling you the truth. If you can't learn to be an entrepreneur with your business, you've got nowhere to go. If you're not willing to learn how to be an entrepreneur, you've got nowhere to go, because you won't know how to get your photos out there, and you won't know how to get your photos in front of the people that you want to get in front of you so that they can put money in your wallet, right? Okay. So, and that's kind of how I got started. I mean, I did not grow up with money. I didn't grow up with next to anything. I was always a very driven person. I didn't know this until I was a little later in life. I mean, if you saw all my grades, you'd probably agree with me. But I knew that there was a better way. And that's just all there is to it. I knew that there was a way for me to use my noggin to make my life better. And that was my priority. And if you're here, that means that you're either in the same boat, that you're just like, I'm done. Like, I'm done working for the man and I'm ready to do this for myself. Or you're already working for yourself. You're not working for the man and you just want to step up your game. Either way, this is the place for you. You know, I began to realize that money equaled security and security equaled options and choices. Now, there are a lot of photographers out there or other business people that, you know, when you're dealing with like an emotional artistry, they will get a little offended whenever you're money driven. That's crazy. Are they paying your bills? Then you need to be money driven. So that's where this kind of begins, is if you're here, it's because you are driven to want to make money and be successful. And hopefully that's what we're going to cover. I found when I was growing up that when I didn't have money, that equaled insecurity. And I was just listening to a Susie Orman podcast about money. And it was so interesting as I'm listening to her go through all of this, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like you just switch a few words and it totally applies to all of this. So no money equals insecurity, insecurity equals fear, fear equals compromise, and compromise equals powerlessness, right? And powerlessness makes you feel like you can't say no, or you always have to say yes to whatever it is that you don't want to do. So let's get over that real quick. If you're here, it's because you're looking for a different way to do things. So you need to find your voice. You need to be able to devote yourself. Even, I don't care if you don't buy my program. If you want to get into photography or you want to be an entrepreneur, you have got to go out there and find an entrepreneur or a photographer that speaks to you, that can teach you and can mentor you. That's all there is to it. I keep saying that. That's all there is to it. It's not all there is to it, or this would be done. So you need to speak your truth. You need to be transparent with yourself, and you need to figure out what your path is. And that's one of the only ways that you're going to figure out where you want to go. Fear is the biggest obstacle, right? When you're fearful, you will not take that step. But I am here to tell you, there's absolutely no difference between you and me. I am no smarter than you. I am no quicker than you. I'm no better at photography than you. If I have done it, you can do it. There is nothing that is extraordinary about me. Nothing. I'm a great person. I'm a great gal. I'm a terrific friend. I'm a fabulous wife. I got a kid that, like, oh, my heart explodes when I think about her. But I am not extraordinary in what I do. I have just taken 14 years and I've perfected what I can do. And I'm doing the best I can. And I continually invest in my self-care, personally and professionally. And I continually invest in my own education and my own path and my own journey with all of this. It's worked out for me. So I've taken that information and I've kind of neatly put it in a little box and tied a bow on it. And now it's for you. So let's talk about ECE a little bit. So in a nutshell, Elizabeth Craig Education is a 10-week program. It has 8 modules, but it is 10 weeks because we kind of felt like you needed a little bit of a breather. There are going to be some weeks that just have way more information and just a lot. It's going to require a little bit more time to maybe get the homework done or explore it a little bit or kind of play around with things a little bit. So we didn't want to just like crush everything in. We wanted to give some breathing space. So it is 10 weeks and it is 8 modules. These modules were designed specifically because of feedback that we got, and also just being a boudoir photographer. If I was just starting out, knowing what I know now, what would be the most important things for me to learn then? So I put these together. Okay. So the very first one is camera basics and shooting with natural light. I have found that quite a few photographers don't know how to shoot in manual. If you are one of those individuals, this is going to like blow your mind, because if you shoot in manual, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But when you don't shoot in manual, it's like putting a TV dinner in a microwave and clicking start and then like pulling it out. And if you like it, then you like it. And if you don't, then you don't. But you did not do anything to make that meal. You push a button. Manual, shooting in manual is the same thing. The great thing about shooting in manual is you control everything and you design your art just by looking through that little thing and clicking the button if you have all of your settings the way that you want them. So we designed the first module to start with that, because it's kind of the basics. And then also shooting in natural light. I am a natural light photographer. I totally sprinkle in artificial light. But I felt like if you're just starting out, then you're probably mostly working with natural light because it's free. So I kind of tried to tailor it to that specifically. We're going to talk about why you should shoot in manual. We're going to talk about your f-stop, your shutter speed, and your ISO. That's your trinity. You know, if you learn those three things, you've mastered shooting in manual. It's not nearly as difficult as I think most people think it is. Then we're going to talk about shooting with natural light and lots of reasons why you should. All of my tips and tricks. When I first started boudoir photography, I didn't have a studio. I just photographed in my clients' homes. And I liked it. I mean, I'm a quick thinker. So it was, you know, I enjoyed being put in a situation where I had to think outside the box like immediately. I enjoyed that. Year two, I did get a studio, and I was sharing it with another photographer for a little while, and her crap was everywhere. And it has these 3 huge windows, and all I had was a camera and my flash. And I'm not using my flash. So that meant I had a camera. So I had to figure out light, and I had nothing to figure it out with except my eyes and my camera. So that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I did not invest in one single solitary thing to help me with that. Nothing. I didn't even bring a reflector. So that made me become a master of light. And I have learned how to make light my bitch. From silhouettes to backlight, front light, side light, you name it. And, you know, boudoir photography is kind of a big part of that. So anyway, we talk about that. We talk about cheap purchases. I'm a hacker, you guys. I do not believe in going out one bit and purchasing hundreds or thousands of dollars in stuff that you don't even know how to use and you probably don't need. And there's a hacked way to do it that's like next to nothing. So I go through all of my studio hacks, which are particularly helpful if you're just getting started because you just don't want to or you don't have the money to invest. So to this day, I don't hurt for money and I am still a hacker and I figure it out. I just figure it out. I'm like a female MacGyver. Give me like 2 rubber bands and bobby pins and I'll build you a house. So module 2, this is probably one of my more popular ones, and it's all about posing. It's all about posing. That's probably that and one other module. Let's see, which module is it? Module 6. These are my 2 most popular. I understand that particularly whenever you're starting out, posing can be a really difficult thing. Trying to think about what to do with body parts and at the same time make it flattering, and you know, you want your client to feel good about themselves. I mean, you hold a lot of power in your hands right there, and if it doesn't go well, it could end up pretty badly for your client. So, and God knows we women don't need any help in the low self-esteem area, right? So anyway, it's poses, and it's not all of it, but most of it is my flow posing. If you're not familiar with what flow posing is, it is whenever you start with like a base pose and then you just move arms and legs and you're just flowing into one pose after another. So instead of going to like taking a photo on the wall and then moving her over to the bed and then moving her over to the couch for 3, I do flow poses. I do one entire set on the wall, and that's in the module. Then we move to the bed and I do an entire set on the bed, and that's all flow posing. And then I do an entire set on the couch and an entire set on the floor. This is all for you. Not only do you get, and this is with all of the modules, but not only do you get a full film where I'm teaching you everything, I'm either teaching you sort of hands-on where you can see me doing what I'm doing, or I'm sitting like this in front of my computer and going over teaching whatever the subject is. But not only do you get a full film of me, but you also get a PDF download of the entire, every single module that you see. With whenever it's appropriate, there are homework assignments, and whenever it's appropriate, there is just you guys. There's like a shit ton of templates. So you're welcome. I mean, in and of itself, like I could probably sell these templates just for the price that we're selling the whole work, the whole 10 weeks. There's so many of them. I'm so excited to give them to you because I know when I took a workshop one time and there were a couple templates in it and they blew my mind. So, I mean, they changed everything for me. So hopefully this is what's going to happen for you. There's going to be bonus tips on facial expressions. I know that that's a really big thing. When I was first starting out, I wasn't sure how to get women to comfortably give me facial expressions that I needed because we women, I mean, we know how to do this, right? We even know how to do this. But pulling out like that seductive, kind of powerful face, that's a little bit more difficult because that's not a face that we regularly see on ourselves. And so we have to learn how to do that so that we can teach our clients. And so there's a whole segment on facial expressions, also making your clients comfortable. I found that this was a big thing with newer photographers as well, is that they really needed tips and tricks on how to kind of bring their clients down off the cliff. I'm really good at that. If you haven't learned already, I'm pretty much the biggest dork in the room. So I could never intimidate anybody. I'm really good at making people feel very at ease. I'm a very genuine, authentic person. I do wear my emotions on my sleeve. If I don't like you, you're going to know. I'll try and hide it because I don't like to hurt feelings, but I won't be able to. So I'm very genuine with that. And it's a very easy thing for me. And because it's an easy thing for me, I can easily give that to you. To teach you how to do that as well. Let's see. Oh, a really big part of this too is taking a lot of my straight size posing and then showing you cool little tweaks and tricks and tips on how to modify it very, very slightly for curvy women. So that's like a great added perk, I got to tell you. And then also, let's see. Oh, that's right. On this one, you get a bonus. We have a full photo shoot. It's a completely separate film, a full photo shoot. You get to see me and you get to see my studio. You get to see me do my thing. I'm working with a client. You will be able to meet my only one, my one and only hair and makeup stylist, Leanne Boersma from At Home Beauty. We do a quick Q&A. I do get a lot of questions about hair and makeup and styles and how do you find people and how do you work, how do you develop that relationship and all of that. So it's a really great Q&A with Leanne and I, and then additionally you get to see me shoot. It's a really, really great thing. We did something like that whenever we had some like beta testers, and we did something like that, and they found that to be one of the most useful things was watching me actually in action. So that's in there. All right, moving on to module 3. This is a really good one, you guys. I keep saying that, but this is a really good one. This is how to earn $1,500 to build your portfolio. What? Yeah. This is teaching you how to earn $1,500 to build your portfolio. So I walk you through step by step how from step 1 to step, I don't even remember, 5 steps, 6 steps, something like that. How to make money while you're building your portfolio. And this is really big. This is a really big thing that I hear from photographers all the time. I can't make money. I'm not making money. I don't know how to make money. I don't know how to charge people. Well, this is your introduction to that. This is Such a fabulous way to dip your toes into it because you're not locking. You'll see if you buy the course, you'll see that like you're not locking anybody into anything. You're just kind of dipping your toes into it. But it is a surefire way to make money while building your portfolio. So it's jam-packed full of stuff. 5 steps to earning $1,500 to build your portfolio. Preparing yourself to shoot that day. Preparing yourself for preparing your clients for your shoot. This is all in those steps. The reveal, how you're going to work the photo preview with your people or your clients, and all the in-person sales that you're going to do with them, and then coming in for like the money kill. Creating an online portfolio, we go through that. We also go through creating a social media schedule, and then also collaborations. And this is all to do. So 5 steps to earning $1,500. That's all broken down for you. And then once you get all of that, because it's finding clients and then it's getting ready to photograph those clients. And so then I teach you how to get yourself ready to shoot, to have that shoot day with those clients that you're trying to make $1,500 from, right? And then it's getting those clients prepared and ready to go for that shoot day. Then it's like how to hold your reveal and make your money and do your in-person sales. Then I talk about how to use all of those images that you just got from this campaign for your portfolio, for social media, and for all of that kind of stuff. So it kind of walks you through everything. It's a really handy little, like, what's nice about this module is that it's so super step-by-step. So some of the other modules are just really good information and really great techniques and tangible things that you can absolutely do. Really great little roadmaps for you. But they're not like, first do this, then do this, then do this. That's what this one is. And it's particularly helpful if you are a new photographer and you're like, I can't do this and not make money. Like, even if you don't need to make money, but why wouldn't you? It's really, really easy way to do this. Module 4, making paperwork sexy. You cannot make paperwork sexy. I'm here to tell you, but I'm going to try. So we're going to go through contracts. You're going to get my contract. You can totally copy and paste. It's all yours. Or if you just want to add some things in, or they give you really good ideas, you will get my contract. Also questionnaires. I have very specific questionnaires for very specific photo shoots and other things that I do. So you're going to get to see my questionnaire for everything. And again, you can just copy and paste if that's what you would like to do. It's all yours. Also, my entire invoicing system, how I do that, it's all automated and I love it. You are actually going to also get a tutorial. I use 17 Hats right now. I might be making a switch very soon. We'll talk about that. But in any case, I use 17 Hats right now, and Miss Lola, who you're going to meet tomorrow, she is our tech guru. She's our operations specialist. So a bonus in this module is that she actually walks you through a total complete tutorial of 17 Hats. And there's even, there's some kind of a discount code.
There's a discount code. They also get all of the templates to automatically copy over to their own 17 Hats if they use it.
Okay.
Like the email templates.
Okay. So not only do you get a discount code if you want to go with 17 Hats to get some money off, is it like $50 or something? Nothing like that. It's like $50 off. Then you get if you sign up, you get all of my templates, which you can just easily transfer over to your own.
And if they don't use 17 Hats, they get all those templates to put in whatever.
Okay. And if you don't use 17 Hats, then you get those templates anyway, and you can put them in any workflow program that you currently work with. Thank you, Lola. Let's see. And how to set up a system to make it work for you. This is really important. For years and years and years and years and way too many years, I just sort of stitched everything together. I was just like, oh, I'll send out an email, and then at the email back, I'll send them again. Then I got to send them like the invoice, and then I got to send them like my guide, my prep guide, and then they, once they do that, then I got to send them. Then I got to send them. I can't tell you how much time I wasted on my stitched together process of what I do. It was so inefficient. So inefficient. Now I have processes in place that are mostly automated, and they just make life easy. And that's what you need to learn how to do. And if you're just starting, then let me tell you, this is one of the best things that you can do, because don't waste if you start not wasting your time, if you build your foundation to not waste your time, then that's always going to be a priority for you. And I can't tell you something even better than starting with something like that. So this module is jam-packed full of processes and paperwork, and it makes it really easy for you. I don't know about you, but I don't know anybody that likes paperwork. So this just kind of teaches you how, this kind of does it all for you, really, in reality. All right, module 5, the VIP client experience. This is a big one too. I have a lot of photographers that really want to figure out how to wrap their brain around how I do what I do step by step with every client, from the minute that I get my very first inquiry until the minute that they receive their product and I send them on their way and give them hugs and kisses. What do I do from step A to step Z? I get that a lot. That's exactly what this module is. It walks you through absolutely everything that I do. It's the initial inquiry. Not only that, but it's like when somebody inquires, they get an email shot right back to them that says, hey, thank you so much. Like, thank you for inquiring. Attached, you're going to find my information, my pricing information. You get a whole bunch of templates with that. So I give them sort of a flip book, a little magazine, a digital magazine that they can kind of flip through. I like that because not only does that give me a chance to show off my beautiful work, but it also introduces different kinds of photography that I offer that they didn't know that I offered. So it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that she did mothers and daughters. Huh. Oh my goodness, she does do high school seniors. So that's why I do it that way. So there are a couple templates there for you to be able to just drag and drop and do what you want to do and get her done. There's also going to be a couple templates on just listing, like a one-page PDF. Some people just like it simple. I got you. And so if you're looking for more of like a one-page PDF, we got those templates for you. Don't worry. Well, I'm also going to talk about their entire photo session and how I educate them. So we go from inquiry to giving them information. They book me, all my processes with that, how I educate my client and get them ready for their session, my communication timeline with my clients. It's really, for me, it's really important to identify what clients need to have consistent communication with me and what clients are like, I got this, I'll just see you on session day. I make myself available to my clients 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They get my text message, or my cell phone number for text messaging. I have clients that want to take me shopping with them, meaning like they'll FaceTime me whenever they're out shopping and be like, what do you think of this robe? Like, I think it would be really perfect. Remember that idea? So I walk through everything with my communication timeline and everything that I do with my clients. Also, I talk about how to prepare yourself for the shoot day, because that's important. I mean, if you've ever photographed anybody, you don't just show up. Like, you don't like just show up and pull your camera out and start photographing. Not if you're being paid to like do something specific, some kind of portrait work or something like that. 9 times out of 10, you want to make sure that you're completely prepared. For me, I have a whole process. I go in super early into my studio. I clean everything up. If something needs cleaned up, I kind of wipe things off. I set things out. Like, I get my camera out. I get myself physically prepared in my space and mentally prepared in my head. So that way, whenever my clients walk through the door, they have 100% of me and just me. Because who doesn't want just me, right? So what else do I do? Oh, we do talk about like post-session follow-up and reveal. So at the end of my sessions, that's whenever I give my clients all the information on what happens next. You can never, ever, ever educate your client too much about any of your processes, about what is going to happen and what has already happened, which leads to what's going to happen. So anything you can do to keep your clients informed, that's something you always want to do. And I talk about that. So I talk about how to get them ready for the reveal, how to get them pumped up for their photo preview, pricing and packaging. And then I also go through my reveal guide. My reveal guide has everything you'd ever want to know. Look at my little puppy. Has everything you'd ever want to know about what to expect from the minute you walk in to the minute you leave. It has all of my products in my guide and all of the very specific pricing for absolutely every little thing, including upgrades and companion products and those kinds of things. So you will get templates for that. I will discuss run you through how I fulfill orders and my processes for that. And then also keeping in touch. Keeping your clients, there's a very elegant and graceful way to keep past clients engaged with you. I always say once a client, always a client. So making sure to continually have processes in place that continually make your past clients, help your past clients become future money. So we talk about that. Tons of template downloads in that one. Module 6. Reveal IPS and versus packages and how to know your worth. So what I go through here, this is, remember whenever I said about posing, that was like my number one. This is my number 2. These two are like neck and neck. People want to know how to pose and they want to know how to make money. I gotcha. I feel the same way. So we're going to go through every single thing that I do step by step in my reveal. And I tell you how, excuse me, my tips and tricks on how to prepare your space for the reveal that best promotes shopping. I also give you my step-by-step on how, from the minute that my client walks in until they leave, every single thing that I do and why I do it. It works for me. I've never really done a whole lot of research on in-person sales. I've just put it together. And it works. I'm 14 years strong. I'm doing something right. So in any case, you get that. So we're going to talk about everything about the reveal. We're also going to be talking about in-person sales versus packages. I did not know that there's like this big, huge like rivalry. I'm just learning about this. People that are in-person sales versus people that are packages, it's like ding, ding, round one. I think it's ridiculous, to be honest with you. But I go, so I feel like you do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. And that's just all there is to it. These people are not paying your bills, whoever these people are. And these people, they're not paying your bills either. What do you care? What do you think? But I go through in-person sales, what the pros and cons are. And then I go through in-person sale, I go through the pros and cons of packages. But then I go through and I actually teach you how to price your products and what the industry standards are and where to go from there. I also talk about, again, getting your client prepared and getting yourself prepared for your reveal. Mostly this entire module is about money, 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 money. So the reveal is, in-person sales is all about my techniques and everything that I do and all my tricks of the trade that get me money. Packages, same thing. There are strategic ways to build your packages to maximize your profit. So I go through all of that as well. I go through, then also there's a whole section on just upping your sales, just those cherries on the cake and how quickly those add up. So you're going to get all of that as well. How to know your worth, that really needs to actually be probably the first thing, because you really won't know how to price anything until you know what you need. So how to know your worth. And that's not about oh, you're so worthy. No. It's what is your mortgage? What's your car payment? What does it cost you to live personally in your home with your student loans and there's Lola. Hi, Lola. So let's break for one quick second. Augie, the doggy, is a pain in the ass. And she should be wearing a full-on tiara because she is more of a princess than I am. And she has decided that she wants to go outside. And so I don't know if you heard her, but she has been sitting there. And look at her. Look at her. I don't know if you can see her, but now she's sitting right in front of the door, just staring in the door. And I guarantee you, count to 10, and she'll Exactly. She will do that because now she's like, wait, you're not coming with me? Wait a minute. Yeah, she's such a brat. So anyway, so my lovely Lola, we were both just going to let her whine. And then I think Lola was finally like, that's it. Like, and that's all it takes. Like, just let her out and then let her right back in. We're good. Okay, moving on. Restart. So how to know your worth is figuring out what you owe, to what you have, what you need to live. What's your peanut butter and jelly money? You know, you have a mortgage or rent, you have student loans, you have to eat. I mean, this is, so you work that out. And then we teach you how to work out, what do you need to run a business? Do you need a computer? Do you have a camera? Do you need to buy one? What monthly subscriptions are you taking advantage of to help you with your business? So once you learn those two things and then you add them up, now you have your full number, what you need in a month. And then we help you break that down so that you can understand what it is that you now need to price your packages at, or what you need to bring in for in-person sales. Like, so we teach you like your peanut butter and jelly money, and then we teach you your filet mignon money. Lola, is this the one where you, or is it the next one? No, is this the one where you, there's like something in there about, yeah.
So I teach a bonus on your financial mindset, as well as has the calculator for your cost of doing business.
Okay. So there are 2 bonus videos in here where Lola, like, this is one thing that like she does really, really well. So there's 2 other videos in there. One is like kind of mentally preparing yourself like to make money. And then also like the nitty gritty, which includes actually like a legit calendar, or excuse me, calculator, where you enter in numbers that you know, and then it kind of pops out like that number, that magic number where you're like, oh, that's what I need to make in a month. So this is what these are how many sessions I would need at this price, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So that breaks it all down for you. And then also I go through like a little section on beware of loopholes, because, oh, God bless these clients. If they can find a loophole where they can be like, but, you know, I don't have to pay as much if I do it this way, or how, they will find it. I'm still closing loopholes to this day. So we go through that. Module 7, building your business locally. This is the module that John actually teaches. So he goes through how to find the perfect networking opportunities. I know we hate that word, don't we? Networking. I know. But wait till you hear him talk about it and you'll be like, oh, I can do that. Yeah. How to make the most of those events, like not just showing up. If you're anything like me, you just show up and then you sit in a corner and you drink a cocktail and like play on your phone. Don't do that. Let's see. How to build and grow your brand consistently from local connections. That's really important. So again, are you picking up on the tone of this? Local. Because I'll give you a little tip right now. Your customers are all pretty much for a really long time going to be within a 25-mile radius. So while it's fabulous to get published and get noticed internationally or nationally, your money people your clients are within a 25-mile radius. So he goes over all of that and how to best cater to that population and how to connect with them and the best steps to do to get there. We also, this is a lot of fun. We also have a bonus roundtable. So this is where John, Lola, and myself just sit and talk. And we have so we're all 3 photographers. Between the 3 of us, we get a lot of questions. So we came up with I don't know, was it like the top 5 questions or something like that? Top 5 questions that we received about marketing locally. And we just kind of talk about them. It's just like an open discussion. It's really great. I think it's really helpful because so there's like one question and then the 3 of us, each of us give our take on it or our answer to that question. So it's kind of a overload of like information. So it's like more bang for your buck. And then let's see, module 8, building your business online. So yes, we want you to market locally. We want you to build those connections locally, but you also have to have like, do things so that you're internationally and nationally found as well, because the goal is, right, to be super famous someday and like do all your work from your yacht. Know what I'm saying? So this one is taught all by Lola. So she goes through she goes through everything like SEO. What else? Talk to me.
I go over SEO,
blogging, social media. She's the queen of all that stuff.
How to make your website. We talk really all about your online presence.
Yeah. So Lola is our technical guru. So she's the one that kind of walks you through all of that stuff. And this module also comes with the roundtable discussion on that brand of marketing and social media and all of those kinds of things. As I said, you have 3 of us, so you get all of our answers, which is nice because it's kind of like, you know, the best bang for your buck. So if you are like, oh my gosh, this is so fantastic, I'm so ready to take this step, which you should be, then you can go to www.elizabethcraigeducation.com, scroll down, and you'll see shop, and you click shop. And you can purchase the entire course. You can make a one-time payment, which gives you a $200 discount. If you would like to make payments, you can do that as well. It's all set up for you. It's super easy to do.
There's also a link directly on the webinar page.
Oh, there's a link directly on the webinar page. You don't even have to go like back to the site. See, she's operations. See what I said? Yeah, all good stuff. So she makes it so easy for you guys. So you can actually do that right now if you want to. If you are still kind of like, well, I want to like get to know Elizabeth a little better, we have 5 more webinars. So we have our webinar coming up tomorrow where I introduce you to John and Lola, and we're going to kind of do like a roundtable thing. Like we're going to randomly select, like go through like some of the questions that we get, and we're going to just like answer those questions. You can also ask any questions that you want about marketing and branding, and we're going to talk with you about that. Thursday, I don't remember what Thursday was.
IPS.
Oh, what's Thursday IPS? Yeah. Thursday, I'm going to talk about my 5 top tips for in-person sales. So things that have worked for me. Hopefully they'll work for you. And then next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we also have 3 additional webinars. Tuesday is
building client confidence.
Building client confidence. I get a lot of that. As I said before, how do you get your clients to calm down enough to trust you? I got you. Then super exciting. On Wednesday, we're actually going to do a live shoot. So you're going to see everything in my glory. You're going to hear all my swear words. You're going to see me more than anything trip over everything, because that's what I do. I narrowly escape death every single session that I have in my studio.
And make sure they note that next Wednesday's webinar is the only one that's at 11 a.m. Eastern versus 12 p.m.
Thank you, Miss Lola. Next Wednesday for the live shoot, it is the only webinar that is at 11 a.m. and not 12 p.m.
So if you come an hour late, you're going to miss it.
Yeah, if you come an hour late, you're going to be like, damn it. So you also get to meet Leanne as well. She will be there doing hair and makeup. It's just going to be a fun time. You get to see me in my element. You get to see everything that I do, all my tricks of the trade. If you have any questions, you can ask them during that time as well. I'll also be instructing like to the camera. I'll be talking to you when I'm doing something pops up and I'm like, oh, this is a really good tip for you guys. Keep this in mind. So we'll be going through that as well. And then on Thursday is
Know Your Worth.
Know Your Worth. Yeah. Now this one is, so Know Your Worth on the module is all about money, but this one's all about like, girl or boy, you got this. Like we're going to talk about how to how to infuse a little bit of self-confidence, all the tips and tricks that I've used and that I think that you should use as well. And additionally, a tiny little segment that I like to call No Excuses. So, is there anything else that and sign up for the newsletter. The two things I want to say. One, sign up for the newsletter because you're going to keep up to date on everything. We're not spammy. I can't stand that. You'll get a newsletter every once in a while, at least what? Well, for the first like while, you're going to get one once a week. You're going to want those because they have a ton of information in them. The other thing that I wanted to mention too is that this is really important. Once you sign up for Elizabeth Craig Education, once you become an attendee or a student of Elizabeth Craig Education, you are grandfathered in to everything forever. So when we switch out modules or we add things, or you don't have to pay for that. That's just yours. We've already come, you would not believe the things that we have coming up over the next year. But we already have like all kinds of new ideas for new modules that we're going to be adding, and those are all yours. I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not a very good salesperson, but I do want to point this fact out. It's not always going to be the price that it is. I mean, you know this as well as I do. I'm not saying something that is going to shock and surprise you. If this becomes successful, when it becomes successful, we're going to raise the price. That's all there is to it.
Be prepared for the price to double within the next 6 months.
Be prepared for the price to double within the next 6 months. Lola has a lot of faith in me.
And also, I just before we forget,
yes,
they can only sign up until the 28th at midnight Eastern time, and then after that, it will be at least 3 months before they can sign up again.
Oh, wow, that's really good information to have. Okay, so our very first 10-week program launches on October 29th. You will receive on October 29th your very first module, and then you will receive every week thereafter on that day your next module, your next module, your next module, your next module. What Lola is saying is that you only have until October 28th, what time?
Midnight Eastern time.
Midnight Eastern time, which is really like 11:59 p.m. Eastern time to sign up for this, this first go round. And if you don't, then it's going to be at least a 3-month wait until we launch the next one. Eventually, we're going to probably get to a place where we don't need to be so involved in every launch. And so we'll launch maybe, one at a time, and then one right after that, one right after. Right now, this is my baby. And I want to make sure that I am available to each and every person that's going through it, probably at least for the first year. So if you don't sign up today, then if you don't sign up before 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on October 28th, then you're going to have to wait 3 months to get into the next class. So boo, but I hope I see you there. If you're still on the fence, like I said, join me for the next couple of webinars. They're just kind of a peek inside like what you can expect with Elizabeth Craig Education. As with anything, like it's just going to keep growing. It's not just my education. It's not just my information. It's not just my brain that you're getting all of my tips and tricks from, but it's also Lola and John. So you've got like a triple whammy there. John's been a photographer for a little over 25 years. I've been a photographer for 14 years. Lola's been in the business for how long, honey?
I've been in the business for 6 years, but I've been an entrepreneur for over 10.
She's been in the photography business for 6 years, but an entrepreneur for over 10 years. So you're getting, what is that? 35, 45, 49 years worth of information and experience. So, I hope that you find that this is a good fit for you. And if you don't, that's okay too. I promise you that's okay. I believe that, really it just comes down to this. I've been a photographer for 14 years. John and I have been doing this. We've been able to support our family. This is what we do full time. So we know what we're talking about. If you feel like it's a good fit for you, I promise we're going to take care of you and you're going to get so much information. If you feel like this is not your home and you feel like there's something a little bit better suited for you out there, peace, love, and rock and roll. Mwah. It's okay. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Is there anything else?
Nope, if they have any questions, they can send them to any of us or email at hello@elizabethcraigeducation.com.
Yep. So you can email at hello@elizabethcraigeducation.com if you have any final questions or comments below, or if we just didn't see them or we didn't get to them, we will be certain to get back to you. So first webinar down. Peace, love, and lots of wine, everybody. Hugs and kisses.